I am back and we are live. Do not adjust your camera settings. Do not adjust your TV screens, your laptops, your tablets, your phones. Do not make any necessary adjustments. I want to let you know that I am back off vacation. With that being said, I did get some sun, some much needed sun. How's everybody doing out there in social media world? And this is another edition of the Pride and Passion Baseball Talk. I am your host, Amir Sharaz Ortiz, aka Poppy Ortiz02. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Poppy Ortiz02, or find me right here on Facebook, Amir Sharaz Ortiz. Oh, what did I miss? I've been gone 2 weeks. Gone 2 weeks. I think I needed a much needed break from couch potatoing and I don't get it wrong. I was still watching baseball, even on a boat, on a cruise, in the water, overseas in Mexico and Belize. I'm not bragging, just letting you know that there's baseball out there too. And yeah, since we're on the subject, why the heck not? Just jump right into it, right? MLB has announced this week that they're going back to Mexico. Mexico City Series is what they're calling it. You'll see the Giants and the Padres play a 3-game series in Mexico City. I think it's kind of cool. I think they haven't been out there since it's been a little bit. I know I looked it up. My mind is a little frazzled here and there, but they last played in Monterrey, Mexico. So it was 2018 and 2019, something around there. They played a series in the summer. I know they usually try to get the West Coast teams to go out to Mexico, so it was a mess with their timeline, their time. You know, they're going through different, as you can say, they don't want them getting jet lagged. I guess, like I am. Welcome again. I'm trying to get everybody on board. Try to make sure everybody comes on. If you got any questions, please feel free to chime in, ask away, do what you got to do. Trust me, I will try to answer as many questions as I can. I am not ignoring you guys. Trust me, I'm just trying to tag people to get them here. I'm already getting messages. Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Appreciate the love. I appreciate being back. You know, baseball doesn't stop. Baseball is a long season, 162 games of baseball. So, you know, you don't want to miss out when it comes to the baseball, as they say, you know. Just trying to tag some folks so they can join us. Again, whatever questions y'all may have, feel free to type it in, and I will try to get there. But playing overseas is a big deal. You know, they say that baseball is America's pastime, but the Major League Baseball has done a great job. It's trying to get it globally. As you can see, they recently played in the UK, the Giants and Red Sox. And I know before the pandemic, there was another series scheduled. I believe it was the Cubs and Cardinals was scheduled to be out there. So let's not do that. I'm getting bugged here, so I don't want to put anybody on. If my producer can take care of that. All right. So where are we at? We're on YouTube, by the way, people. So you know we get spammed on YouTube as well. So it's quite interesting. We're blowing up. We're blowing up. We're getting ourselves out there. Shine Through Productions is doing their thing. The All Sports Matters podcast. We are doing our thing. But baseball is trying to be a global sport. Just recently, again, they played in Mexico. They played in the UK. For those of you that don't know, they even played a series in Australia that I didn't know until I made some research today, you know, which was crazy. So Japan has obviously been there, you know, during the Ichiro days, but they're trying to get baseball to South Korea. Remember, we played a series in Cuba, which was frowned upon, but baseball is trying to be global. And speaking of baseball, nobody is hotter. Nobody is better. Nobody is has more wins than the LA Dodgers of Hollywood, of Orange County. I'm still trying to come up with a name here. I'm still trying to come up with a name. Uh, but yes, the Dodgers, they sit at 90 and 30, well, actually 90 and 40. They lost today. So the standings will reflect as of last night. Remember that. Today we have 90 and 40. And 40. It was a great series this week, the last 4 days, between the Dodgers and Mets. I believe they split 2-2. So it was a 3-game series. I don't remember. My statistician is on the road right now. But we can anticipate to have this series again in the National League Championship Series. At least we can hope, right? We can hope to see these two teams, the best two teams in baseball right now, as well as the Astros, who's hot out there in the American League. But let's focus on the National League right now. The Dodgers sitting at 90 and 39, 32 games left. They just played today. It would have been 33. Can they break the record? Can this be the team that breaks the record? They have a cupcake schedule the rest of the way because they only play the National League West the rest of the time. So they'll always be on the same timeline, the same time zone. Can the Dodgers surpass the Mariners and the Cubs at 116? The Mariners tied the record of the Cubs in 2001. The Cubs won 116 in 1906. But records are records, right? We're talking about records a lot today. We're talking about home runs, wins records. So and a Triple Crown. We got some Triple Crown players trying to win that. That hasn't been done since Miguel Cabrera a few years back. So can the Dodgers surpass 116 game wins, or can they tie it at least, or can they surpass it? It is very possible, but for them to do that in 33 games, they're going to have to be 26 and 7, 27 and 6 if they want to break it, which is still tough. It's feasible, seeing as they're only playing against the National League West. So it can be done, obviously. But this team is on fire, like I said. Let's try to pick it up here a little bit. The Dodgers are number 1 in batting average, RBIs, runs, on base percentage, slugging percentage. So you know their hitters are doing what they're supposed to be doing. The pitching is just as much. The pitching, we got first ERA, first in batter average against. And as a team, 286 run differential with leads the major leagues. It's insane. That is insane to me. Man, can this team be beat? The Mets have proven that they can be just as good as them in a series. So we'll see where that will go. Here's the one caveat for the Dodgers, man. For the Dodgers, as dominant as they are, they're 12 and 13 in one-run ball games. So maybe if you keep the game close, maybe they can win. You don't know. Or we don't know. So for anybody watching, but can they beat the Mets? It's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. Can they? Yeah. Can the Mets beat them? Yes. Can the Braves beat both teams? Yes. Again, small series or 7-game series, it's tough to be dominant, even though you've been dominating all season. They don't call it a playoffs for nothing. But I don't know. If I'm playing a series against the Mets and they have, and I'll get to the Mets here in a minute, Jacob deGrom and, no, you said, but they can't be, the word, I see it. I see it now. But you're just saying that because you needed them to beat the Dodgers, or the Dodgers beat the Mets to help the Braves. Now you're being selfish because the Braves can't win on their own. I see where you're going with that, and I'm not about to fight with you over that. All right? So let me get to those teams in a minute, but it's the playoffs. Would you want to play the Mets when they're throwing out Scherzer? Are they throwing out DeGrom? who Mookie Betts himself has said is the best pitcher in baseball. He even said Jacob deGrom is the best pitcher he's ever seen. And we all know Mookie Betts has been a stud. They stole him from the Boston Red Sox. So, yeah, Mookie Betts now has 32 home runs overall. We're still talking about the Dodgers. Yes, I did cover their 12 and 13 in one-run games. So you play them close, you might be able to get them. They either been completely dominant or they crack under the pressure. So, playoffs. What team are we going to see for the Dodgers? Jimmy, I want you to tune in here and let me know what you think. What team are we going to see in the playoffs? And of course, since we are talking about the Dodgers and then we're going to just jump to another team, let's just go to the power rankings. We already mentioned the Dodgers are number one. Right behind them is the Mets. This team is built for the postseason. The Mets made every trade. How can I put it? They made every move. Every move they made since the trade deadline has paid off. So I will give them that. They also have the best closer in the game. I'm telling you right now, if y'all don't get hyped, when Edwin Diaz is coming to on the mound and the song comes out and they're playing with the live trumpet, man, they made a whole thing this week. And I loved it. As a baseball fan, I loved it. And I'm not a fan of the Mets by no means. I'm not against the Mets, but I'm not a fan of them. But I'm hyped up. The Mets had me hyped up this week. And they did what they're supposed to do, and that's beat the Dodgers. So the playoffs should be interesting. It should be obviously worth watching. They're going to be close. These games are going to be good. Who comes out on top? Dodgers and Mets. Who eliminates the Braves in the playoffs? Dodgers and Mets. I'm telling you, the playoffs are going to be good. And speaking of the Mets, we already said that they got the best closer in the game, Edwin Diaz. I talked about that. But Braves, you got a problem. Braves, you got a problem. It got nothing to do against the Braves, but it's hard to catch up to a team that has a cupcake schedule the rest of the way. And I made sure I wrote this down. I had the Nationals, the Pirates, Marlins, Cubs, Pirates, Brewers, A's, Marlins. 3 games in Atlanta, and then 3 games to finish in Washington. It's going to be hard to overcome the Mets if I'm Atlanta. So they should just be content in making the playoffs and hoping that they don't get overtaken for a playoff spot as a wild card. But I do not see them overtaking the Braves because that schedule is insane. Again, there's nothing against the Braves. It's not. But when you have an easy schedule, it's going to be up to the Mets. Do they fail against these easy teams? And it's quite possible they can. Baseball, like they say, any given Sunday, we do this every day. You throw a couple of pitchers out there, and who knows? The Mets might go on a cold streak. I don't think so, but we never know. Up third is the Houston Astros. They are the best team in the American League at 84-47. Crazy, huh? But I just don't mind. I have to do this. I got a cat in my backyard, and no, I do not own a cat. So I'm not understanding where it came from. I don't know nothing about cats. But yeah, where are we at? The Houston Astros. Speaking of Houston Astros, stuff just happens. They are the best team in the American League. They are. They sit at 84-47, and they're only going to get better. Astros again has just an easy schedule as the Mets, and they kind of hit a road bump or a speed bump. There we go, speed bump. Forgive me, English is not my first language. But Justin Verlander got hurt last week, injured his calf. But he should be back by the end of the season. So they are expecting him back by the end of the season into the playoffs. I believe if Verlander doesn't play another game, he is still the American League Cy Young winner at 16-3, 1.84 ERA. So they're still deep, but just to be on the safe side, they have called up the number one prospect, Hunter Brown. He's a starter, but he'll be pitching out of the bullpen. They're going to be bringing him up for the playoff run, or as baseball says, the pennant chase. September is the pennant chase. But they have an ace, Framber Valdez got 22 straight quality starts. So for the Astros, I believe they're Super Bowl bound. Super Bowl. Wow. The World Series bound. I'm ready for football, right? I guess football starts next week. College this weekend, or they already officially started, but the real games, happen this weekend. So I got a little football on my brain. Because of football, I'm a quick admin note here. We will be pushing the show up 1 hour or back 1 hour. I don't know how you guys say it in the United States, but we're starting at 7 Eastern. And I'll throw that out there again at the end of the show. But starting next week, we are going at 7 Eastern. That we're done before football. Thursday night football begins, and the season next week between the Rams and Bills. Go Rams on that one. I'm not putting money on it, but I'm obviously not a Bills fan. Yes, I know I'm from New York. You don't need to ask that question in the comments. Buffalo is like Canada. The Canadian Bills. That's what they should be called. We're focused. Focus. And at 4 is a team that needs to focus, and that is the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves need to focus. But here's a name you guys have heard of, but didn't know he was doing this good because he's not a dominant pitcher. Kyle Wright. Kyle Wright leads the major leagues in victories. He doesn't have the stuff for Fried. He doesn't go out there and pitch like what's the guy's name in a mustache? Where's my statistician? That mustache pitcher that the Braves got. He's not as flashy as him. But Kyle Wright just goes out there and wins games. He's 17-5. Leads the major leagues. And at home they're 11-2. Yes, Strider. I don't know. I thought Strider was the manager or that Strichter, something like that. But I'm just messing with you. But here's a question for you guys out there, and I guess really the only one who's interacting. This pretty much goes to you, Fleck. If Kyle Wright leads the major leagues in victories, he will have done so since this pitcher did it by winning 21 games in the year 2000. Who was it? That was the last Braves pitcher to lead the major leagues in victories. Who was it? Now, the Braves as a team leads the National League of home runs, but they have a way tougher schedule than the Mets, obviously. And this is some of their games is coming up within the next month. They got Seattle, they got the Giants, they got the Philadelphia Phillies, I believe twice. So the Braves got a battle on their hands because Phillies are not going away. And as the Mets got a cupcake schedule, like I told you guys, the Braves, on the other hand, are going to be battling. I think they'll win majority of the games, but it's not going to be that easy. Speaking of not that easy, leads me to the New York Yankees. I'm sorry, guys. I got a lot to say and not a lot of time. And if anybody's disappointed, is me. Fun fact: the Yankees never lost when I was out of the country this past week. It's insane. That is insane to me. As soon as I step off the boat, they lost. And then they lost. And then they lost again. They did beat the Angels the other night. They beat, who else did they play the other night? West Coast team. The A's. Two teams that they should have easily beaten, and they didn't. Okay, so Here's my gripe when it comes to the New York Yankees. The so-called Bronx Bombers. I okay. Let me start with the positive. Okay, I'm trying not to be all negative. It's easy to be negative, but the Yankees are 79-52. Is a good, record. I'll be happy if there was a struggling, but 79-52 is acceptable. They lead the American League in run differential, plus 195. But they quite possibly have the toughest schedule left in Major League Baseball. So you can't beat the easy teams. And you're supposed to go into the playoffs playing the hardest teams and then quite possibly make the playoffs by playing the hardest team. Okay. I'm not hoping or wishing for a collapse. I'm not saying that they're going to miss the playoffs, which they won't. But they're going to be limping in. They're going to be limping into the playoffs. Let me tell you, look, they got the Rays this weekend away, right? Going back to the question, really quickly, I'll go back to, I'll ask the question again. Who was the last Braves pitcher to lead the major leagues in victories? Since Kyle Wright has 17 victories and leads the major leagues right now. If he does it, he'll be the first pitcher since blank to lead the major league in victories. Back to the Yankees. They do have the toughest schedule. They got the Rays, Twins, Rays, Boston, Brewers, Pirates, Boston, Blue Jays, Orioles. Orioles, by the way, is 68-61. How can that's not predicted? It's not. Nobody predicted it. Yes, the answer is Tom Glavine. Tom Glavine led in 2001 with 21 victories. And they finished the season with 4 games in Texas, again, with the Yankees. I'm disappointed, but they are banged up, and I get it. They're fielding different lineups at different times. Jameson Taillon just got his hand hit, so he's out for the time being. Luis Severino is making his minor league comeback this weekend. Hopefully, he'll be back in a couple weeks. Nestor Cortez with a strain right groin is due back middle of September. And this is the WTF moment of the show. Aroldis Chapman. On the injured list for an infected tattoo. I can't make this up. An infection from getting a tattoo has landed him in the injured list. How? Who does that? Anthony Rizzo has back tightness. He's been held out for a couple games. We'll see. Rizzo this time of year always struggles with his back. The Yankees are walking wounded. They're the walking wounded. They're 10-18 in August was their worst month since 1991. And we all know back in 1991, the Yankees was just not a good team. And they're 15-24 since the All-Star break. It's disappointing. They have lots of talent. Obviously, the only gold star will go to Aaron Judge, but one man can't do it by himself. So yeah, I think I've spoken enough for now about the Yankees. As disappointing as it may be. Up next, the Cardinals. The St. Louis Cardinals is actually going up in the power rankings. They're looking good. They're getting their guys back. Flaherty, Jack Flaherty. Yeah, I think I said it right. Yeah, is coming back. He's doing his rehab starts. He's coming back just in time to help them, to help Adam Wainwright and Jose Quintana and Jordan Montgomery, who's pitching like a Cy Young winner since being traded from the Yankees. Go figure. So the Cardinals, they're 6 games up from the Brewers. And I think they'll only get better, and they're only going to be better. Led by Paul Goldschmidt, who is fighting right now for the triple threat crown. His batting average 332, leads the majors. 105 RBIs, is tied for first. in the National League with Pete Alonso, and 33 home runs is second to Kyle Schwarber, who has 36. So can he do it? I like Goldsmith. I like Paul. He's a solid player, all around player. Obviously, all the hype in St. Louis is on Albert Pujols. Well deserved, obviously, and so Goldsmith and Nolan Arenado and Tyler O'Neill and Paul DeJong, all these guys are having solid seasons. So let's see where this team. I don't think I want to play them in a short series if I'm the National League. The Phillies is the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of baseball. I don't know what the Phillies are doing. They have a good record of 17-58, half a game up on the Padres for that second wild card spot. But this is a team that will blow a 7-run lead, lose the game, and turn around and score 18 runs in the next game. Who are the Phillies? What are the Phillies doing? I know I don't want to pitch to them, but the same aspect that pitchers can't hold anybody down. Aaron Nola is coming around finally. Syndergaard only pitches well against bad teams. They try to hold him out for his confidence purposes. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I'm not making this up. He skipped. Well, they skipped him for 2 starts with the Mets. I guess they don't want to get his feelings hurt. So we don't know if Syndergaard is going to be Syndergaard. We don't know that. Their bullpen has been atrocious. Can't hold leads. You know, they had a 6-game winning streak until they lost to the Pirates and the Diamondbacks. I can't make this up. Hot, cold, yes, then you know, you're in and you're out. It's a song, I believe. It's out there. We got the Tampa Bay Rays at 8. The Tampa Bay Rays is very interesting. In 30 games, I think I wrote this down somewhere, they were 14 and a half games back as of August 1st. 14 and a half games back. As of September 1st, they're only 6 games back. So, obviously, it's been good Rays, bad Yankees. But the Rays been doing what they've always been doing, and that's winning baseball games. So, kudos to them. They were dealt a blow when they lost Shane McClanahan last week with his pitching shoulder. So they're supposed to be giving him some cortisone shots to see if he can get back on the mound soon. A 3-game series this weekend with the Yankees. So obviously it's big for both teams. This is a playoff caliber series this weekend. And you got to play them again next week. But imagine being 6 games back and then the Rays sweep the Yankees this week and next. Now we got a new division leader, and woe is a Yankees fan, which is me, by the way. I'm woe. I'm not understanding it. The Padres sit at number 9. Can I ask you a question? Where is Josh Hader? We made this. I made the announcement, but he was traded from the Brewers to the Padres. Right? Everybody was like, what in the world? Like, why? But Josh Hader has not been the pitcher he's been in the last few years. He got to the Padres and lost his job as a closer, which is unheard of. He was dominant. Quite possibly the most dominant reliever in baseball the last few years. He's been over there, and I got some stats for you. For his first 4 innings of work, which was he hasn't even finished an inning in those games, so it's a lot of games to finish 4 innings. He gave up 12 runs. And I'm saying all that because he just picked up his first save yesterday as a Padre. That's insane. Everybody thought that was crazy for Milwaukee, but I guess Milwaukee bailed out at the right time. He lost his closer job to Nick Martinez, who already has 8 saves for the Padres. Josh Hader, what APB out for Josh Hader, please. Where is Josh Hader? Now, at number 10, and they will quickly rise in these rankings, in my opinion, or they should be higher, is the 73-58 Seattle Mariners, the hottest team in baseball. In the last 60 games, they're 41-19, which leads the American League. Obviously, the Dodgers are the hottest team in baseball. They slowed down a little bit this week, but Seattle Mariners. They have a lot of young bats. They got Julio Rodriguez back, Robbie Ray, Luis Castillo. Don't want to play them in a short series. I'll tell you that right now. Nobody wants to play them in a series. So winning that East is going to be huge between the Tampa Bay Rays and the New York Yankees. That brings up another wrinkle, another argument in that debate. I wouldn't want to be neither one of them playing the Seattle Mariners in the first round. So kudos to Seattle. I guess we can quickly go to the standings. These are the playoff standings, people, the playoff standings. I didn't put full standings because we're pennant chase baseball. Houston is the top team in the American League, followed by the Yankees and the Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians have been on fire, and I got some numbers for you guys when it comes to the Guardians. I got it right here somewhere. Yes, here we go. The Guardians quite possibly have the easiest schedule. 24 of the final 36 games will be at home. They have a 9-game homestand to finish the season, with the final 6 games going against the Kansas City Royals. It's not fair. It's not fair. They have the 4th easiest schedule. Excuse me. I got the numbers right here. 4th easiest schedule. The Guardians are trying to run away with the division. White Sox were just a game back about a week ago, 10 days ago, and injuries against derailed them, as well as losing their manager to health conditions, Tony La Russa. We're wishing well wishes to Tony La Russa. We're hoping also that the White Sox can play a little bit better under new management. So we'll see how that turns out. They got too much talent to be struggling. Minnesota's right behind them. So they're right in front of them. And they should be playing a lot better than what they are. For some reason, it's the Guardians. They have a lot of young talent with Stephen Kwan. Obviously, Jose Ramirez, a top 5 baseball player. Ramirez. I did say that, right? Yep. So that's your American League and your National League. Obviously, running away with the competition is the Dodgers. Mets will be second. The St. Louis Cardinals will clinch the 3rd seed if they can clinch the division, which they're 6 games above the Brewers. They will play that 3rd wild card team, so it should be St. Louis and either the Phillies or the Padres. And the Braves will probably play the Padres in the first round. That will be an incredible series. Without, of course, Fernando Tatis Jr. That was last week's or 2 weeks ago WTF moment of the show. Fernando Tatis, man, you have let so many people down. So where are we at? Let's talk records quite here. We discussed earlier a lot of old baseball writers will say that the 61 home runs by Roger Maris in 1961 should still be acknowledged as the home run record. Aaron Judge right now has matched them at 51. Aaron Judge is projected at this pace to hit 64 home runs this season if he keeps up the pace. I guess my question to the social media world is, should Roger Maris's record stand even though the steroid era was acknowledged? Or is McGwire breaking the record and then Barry Bonds breaking that record still stand? It's a tough debate. It's a tough question to ask, But the 61 home runs is still the American League record. We still have to acknowledge that much. Okay? So Aaron Judge can break the American League record if he surpasses Roger Maris's 1961 record of 61 home runs. So we'll see how that goes. Speaking of home runs, Aaron Judge also became the 10th player in Major League Baseball history to have 2 or more 50 home run seasons. You would think there'd be a lot more, but no, there's only been 10 players in the history of baseball to have two players hit 50 home runs or more than one time. Um, as you can see, they got names of McGwire, Sosa, and A-Rod, all of which have been tied to the steroid era. And even Alex Rodriguez was after the steroid era. He pissed hot and was suspended for a whole year and admitted to using steroids anyway. So those, I guess, will have asterisks. I don't know. Ken Griffey only had two. He fell short one time when he hit 49 home runs, and that was in the year 1996, the same season that McGwire and Sosa was breaking records and pushing up ratings for Major League Baseball. If anything, they saved Major League Baseball that season because numbers were tanking after the strike. After the strike of 1995, so I guess, like I said, it's a tough debate. Baseball wanted to survive without steroids, and now they want to acknowledge it. But they knew then that they were under the influence. So I might be able to do a whole show just on steroids and the steroid era and the playoffs and the Canseco book and the blah, 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 blah. And there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. There's no right answer either. So I will go with what Giancarlo Stanton said when asked when he had 59 home runs in the National League one year. He was asked if he was to reach 62, would that break the record? He said no. The record is 73 by Barry Bonds, and the record is the record. And that was Giancarlo Stanton's quote when he went for 59 a few years back in Miami. So it's intriguing, right? You got Aaron Judge still, as young as he is, looking for a contract, which the Yankees have yet to pay him. Not yet to pay him. I get English. But he sure as heck is playing like he's a $40 million guy. So the Yankees should have paid him last season. So now we got to pay him even more. Willie Mays just got his number retired for the Mets. Kudos to him. And it's crazy because Roger Maris, we just spoke about him, didn't have a 50 home runs. His previous high was 39. So he didn't have another season of 40-plus home runs when he broke the record. So there's no telling there. It was out of the blue, right? Maybe that's an asterisk that should be investigated. Who knows what's going on in 1961? I'm not. But he didn't reach. Another name that's missing from this list was discussed earlier this week when Fleck thought that Barry Bonds should be on this. No, Barry Bonds had about 3 or 4 40 home run years, but his previous high was 49 before he broke the record of 73. So that is a huge difference in numbers. So that doesn't help his stake in the record. It doesn't help his debate as far as Hall of Fame. So it's crazy, right? So before he broke this record, I swear to you, Barry Bonds had Hall of Fame numbers. He just had the focus turned on him now when you got teams walking him intentionally with the bases loaded, and he's hitting home runs left and right. Hit 74, broke Hank Aaron 73, broke Hank Aaron's record of 755. He retired 764, I believe it was. So either way, it was a hell of a career. I believe he should be in the Hall of Fame because he had the numbers prior to. So home runs. Like I said, chicks dig the long ball. Quickly, these are your players of the week of last week. Nathaniel Lowe for the Texas Rangers, 6 games, batted .385, 4 home runs. And Mookie Betts, who's been on fire, got his home run up to 32 this season. He's been dealing nagging injuries throughout the season, but he has definitely turned it around. And I believe that is, yeah, that's everything. But we're all watching the hype. We all seen the hype that's going on in St. Louis, right? I want to make sure I get this right. Um, Make sure I cover everything. Yeah, we got everything. We already said the Dodgers are hot, too hot. The question is, does Albert Pujols reach 700? Um, we've had several discussions off camera, obviously. With the Cardinals being in a pennant chase, teams are not just going to groove him fastballs every time or do, as they say, batting practice pitches, you know. But in the same aspect, Pujols uh, just went through a stretch that was quite possibly the best stretch he had as far as power numbers just a few weeks ago. Um, but I guess my story time starts and ends right here with Albert Pujols. And I won't take up much more of your time. We all got things to do. But the time for me is April 9th, 2001. April 9th, 2001, I was sitting somewhere in Kosovo, Camp Bondsteel, Kosovo. We just going through the madness of what was a political war out there in Kosovo. I'm trying to watch as much baseball as I can. The PS2 just came out during that time while I was out there. I won a raffle to buy it. It's still a thing though, which is crazy to me. You have to win a raffle to buy something. And I was one of two people that had a PlayStation 2. And I made sure that I was playing All-Star Baseball. That's the one that had Derek Jeter on the cover. They eventually turned it to MLB The Show. But before MLB The Show, it was All-Star Baseball, for those of you that didn't know that. That's what they were playing on PlayStation 2. What we were playing on PlayStation 1 was Triple Play Baseball. That's a little PlayStation history in baseball. Just want to throw that out there. But April 9, 2001 was also the first game that Albert Pujols played in Major League Baseball. Albert Pujols was fifth in the batting order, played third base. People didn't know that. He started his career playing third base. He also debuted that game and hit his first home run. So here we are 21 years later, still talking about Albert Pujols, who, because the National League adapted the DH, has allowed him to play more games than what he should be, honestly. We all know his bat speed and all that is not there. He's not as athletic, even though he's, even at this age, way athletic than I'll ever be. He has way more at-bats, and right now sits at 694. The question is, does he hit 6 more in 32 games? So, Mr. Pujols, I will be rooting for you. I'll be trying to watch as many at-bats as I can. Do the Cardinals even give him the at-bat for him to do it? These are all real questions. Stay tuned later. They say same bat time, same bat channel, as we say back in the day. But that's my story time. That's my show. Hats off to a legend in his career. I've done it plenty of time, and I'm sure I'll tip my cap at the end of the season when he's still playing playoff baseball, because the Cardinals are on fire just as much. We'll give them that respect. Next week, we're on at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. I'm trying to get off the social medias prior to football. Okay? Football begins next week. But tomorrow, the All Sports Matter podcast and the brothers, we are going to talk about the NFC West. Oh, well, what's left of it anyway. It's like the Rams and everybody else seems like, right? A lot of drama in San Francisco. Can they come back to the playoffs? We'll discuss that as well. But Geno Smith or Drew Lock, who start? Oh, we already know Geno Smith will start, but who finishes the season as the quarterback? We'll discuss that as well. And that other team up there that we don't really. Oh, Arizona. There we go. What does Kyler Murray have up his sleeve without DeAndre Hopkins? We'll discuss all that and more tomorrow. That as well as 7 Eastern. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Again, for those of you who didn't watch it live, share. Get us out there. Watch it later. Hey, message me. And we will see everybody tomorrow. Take us out, Jimmy.